Cari amici di Archi Magazine, io sono Giulia e oggi esce un nuovo episodio di Staccato, un episodio speciale perché andiamo a parlare di un concorso internazionale. Sto parlando infatti dell'undicesima edizione del Concorso Internazionale di Indianapolis che si terrà quest'anno nel 2022. È stato per noi un vero e proprio onore poter parlare e intervistare Glen Kwok, il direttore esecutivo del Concorso Internazionale di Indianapolis. Vi lascio l'intervista, noi di Archi Magazine siamo davvero entusiasti di questa collaborazione con il Concorso Indianapolis. Come al solito invito tutti voi a iscrivervi al canale in modo da continuare a supportare Staccato e a seguirci sui vari social, Instagram e Facebook.
We are going to talk about one of the most important events that this year we will see, the Indianapolis International Competition. So thank you so much, Mr. Kwok, for being here with us and for this time.
Thank you for the invitation. It's my pleasure to be with you.
So I would like to ask you a few questions regarding the competition, young musicians, and also regarding the future of classics. What is the story of this competition and what can we expect from the 2022 edition?
Well, I'm so happy to be able to tell you a little bit about this competition because the first competition was in 1982, and we approached Joseph Gingold, who was a distinguished professor of violin at Indiana University, and we asked Mr. Gingold if he would help us create one of the world's great violin competitions in America, because up to this point, all the great competitions were in Europe. For instance, the Paganini competition started already 1954, the Queen Elizabeth competition in Brussels, and the Sibelius competition in Helsinki, the Tchaikovsky competition in Moscow. But the United States did not have any competition like that. So Mr. Gingold had served on the juries of all those competitions. And so we asked him, would he help us create a competition like those for America? He was so absolutely thrilled to be able to do this in his own home state of Indiana. Joseph Gingold was a concert violinist and also the concertmaster of the Cleveland Orchestra under George Zell. So he brought great knowledge of the repertoire of the great violinists and professors throughout the world. And because he served on the juries of those competitions, he knew how to run a competition. And so our first competition was in 1982, and we've been holding it every 4 years since. So the next competition is going to be our 11th quadrennial competition in September 9th through 25th of this year in 2022. So that's a quick story of how the competition was born, and we are very excited to have this competition, especially after all that everyone has experienced with the pandemic. I know everybody wants to get out and perform again. And so we welcome everybody from the ages of 16 to 29 to apply for the competition. And we have many exciting things that are going to happen. Of course, we have 4 rounds of competition, but if you make it to the final 6 players, you get to perform with the East Coast Chamber Orchestra, which is a conductorless orchestra. You get to play a Mozart concerto and a work by Chrysler. And then those same 6 get to perform with the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra, and we are so pleased that Leonard Slatkin has agreed to be the conductor for that round. And so it's an exciting opportunity for young violinists.
I would like to ask you something that regards young musicians in particular. As I was telling you, I'm a violinist too, so I'm very, very curious about this question. How important do you think it is to participate in a competition, and how important is timing in this case?
It's a wonderful question. And I think that timing is important, but the good news is there are so many competitions in the world today, and there are many types of competitions. You have regional competitions, you have national competitions, and then you have the biggest international competitions such as Indianapolis or the Queen Elizabeth, Sibelius, Paganini, right? It's either every year, every 3 years, every 4 years, sometimes even every 5 years, like the Vinyavsky competition. So I think the good news is no matter how old you are, you can think about your future and competitions and plan for it. And I do think that competitions are so important for young artists because they do so many wonderful things for you. The first thing is that there's so much repertoire that you have to learn and to prepare at the very, very highest level, right? When you prepare for a competition, it's often at a level much higher than you would prepare, for instance, for a school jury or a school recital, right? And then the second thing is you have the opportunity to compare yourself to artists of the same age from all over the world. And the other thing is that you have the chance to meet jury members and professors and concert artists who can give you feedback on your playing, something that if you don't go to these competitions, you don't have the opportunity to meet this many people in one setting. For instance, in Indianapolis, we have 9 jury members from throughout the world, all concert violinists. So we make sure that they have an opportunity to meet you and to give you feedback on your playing. Lastly, what I like to say is many years ago, when all these competitions first started, the internet didn't exist. And when you performed only for the people in the concert hall, maybe 300 people, maybe 500 people. On a good day in a big hall, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 people. But now with internet streaming, you are playing for tens of thousands of people all over the world who are watching you. Not only people, family and teachers who are supporting you, but you're playing for critics, you're playing for managers, you're playing for presenters and orchestra artistic administrators who are all looking for new talent. So that is one of the greatest opportunities and reasons for entering a competition, because the visibility and the exposure for your playing is incredible. But to go back to your question about timing, that's also one of the reasons why it's important to choose the right competition at the right time and wait till you're ready for something with such large exposure. You want to make sure that when you go to the big competitions, you're in the finest shape because everybody is watching you.
What future do competitions have? What role can they play in the life of a musician, especially in the psychological way?
Yes. The good news is there are more and more competitions appearing every year. Psychologically, I think all musicians need to know that they cannot win every single time. And even just like the Olympics, which we just finished watching in sports, you hope you can have a great day all the time and perform great and win everything, but it doesn't always happen. And so psychologically, you have to be well prepared for that. And especially in music, where there is so much talent every year. There's a new crop of talent that's coming out. So it's okay if you don't win, but there are so many positive aspects of going to competitions, and if you take advantage of those, for instance, if you win in Indianapolis, one of the things that we are so proud of is not only to give you a large cash prize, $75,000 for the gold medalist, but we give you a concert instrument to play for 4 years. We give you a website. We help you with all the many, many non-musical aspects of a career that are so important for launching a career. And there are many, many components to having a successful career. So competitions these days are trying to help the young artists as much as we can to provide that wonderful foundation for you as you begin your career.
Thank you so much for dedicating us this time. It was an honor for all of us, and looking forward to the next edition of Indianapolis International Competition.
Thank you.